Do you believe in unicorns? Well, the pandemic years have now been coined the unicorn years of the housing market. Let's get into the differences between those years and what we are seeing now.
So Keeping Current Matters has coined the pandemic years of real estate as the unicorn years, as they were highly abnormal. We're going to share with you a number of different charts explaining what happened during those years, which will help you hopefully better understand where we're at during today's market.
Yeah, let's start off with maybe everybody's favorite, and that is home price appreciation. Yeah. Let's pull up that chart. All right, here is a home price appreciation chart according to Freddie Mac. As you can see, the pink bars here are the years 2020 and 2021. Home price appreciation for those years was 11% in 2020 and an 18% gain in 2021. And this is for the entire United States, so keep in mind some areas were much higher and others were much lower. So as you can see here in 2017, there was a 7% price appreciation followed by 5% in 2018 and 4% in 2019. Julie, those are kind of normal home price appreciation years in real estate, anywhere from 3 to kind of 5-6%. And even though it felt like we had such a big downtrend year in 2022, we ended up with a 5% appreciation. So it feels kind of like more back to normality, right?
Yeah. So I do think it's helpful to look at this 6-year bar chart to show what transpired before the unicorn years and now currently. Yeah. And again, it's kind of just returning to normalcy. So the next thing we're going to take a look at during those unicorn years are days on market.
Yep, let's take a look.
So here's a chart put out by Realtor.com showing the average days on market. We're looking at a 7-year snapshot here, and this is May of each year. So again, you can see those pink bars dip down considerably low. Those are the unicorn years. For anyone that's in real estate or maybe was buying or trying to buy during those years, you know how fast things went under contract, how fast things sold. You had to act incredibly quick to make something happen.
Yeah, and again, the days on market indicator is how long it takes for a home, once it's put on the market, to go pending, to get an offer accepted. And as you can see, from 2017 to 2019, it was right around 52, 53 days. And then 2020 was an abnormal 68 days. That's because at the beginning of 2020, basically the housing market shut down. But those quick moving years dropped down to 35 and 30. So far here in 2023, it was 43 days. So we're slower than those unicorn years, but homes are still selling faster than those pre-unicorn years, if that makes sense. Let's take a look at one quick chart about our quick local market and what the days on market is for Stockton. All right, on this chart here is more localized for our city of Stockton, and the blue bar graphs down below represent the days on market here in our city. So as you can see, it's kind of right in line with those national levels, 44 and 46 days. It just feels to me that the market's really picking up steam, and if you were to look at our MLS, homes are selling for much quicker than that, in my opinion. All right, next chart is, let's look at the months of inventory and how much inventory is on the market compared to those unicorn years.
You can see there was 2.3 and 2.2 months of inventory during those abnormal unicorn years, whereas in the years prior, the 4 years prior, it was all around roughly 4 months of inventory. And now 2023, this is important to look at, and again, it is nationwide, but it's at 2.9%. So again, that is still fairly low versus looking at the pre-unicorn years.
Yeah, so next let's look at more specifically our city of Stockton, because surprisingly, or not surprisingly to many of you, our months of inventory is much lower. Let's take a look. All right, here's the chart of the city of Stockton months of inventory, and right in the center of the chart you can see that our inventory did tick up during the end of 2022 and at the very beginning of 2023 to that 2.9, 3.2 level. But here recently, in the last 5 months or so, the months of inventory has declined significantly to back under 1 month. And the most recent month, we're at 0.9. And basically, the months of inventory means that if no other homes were on the market, how long would it take to sell all of the current inventory? and that currently sits at less than a month, which indicates that we are in a true seller's market. A couple more charts for you. Let's get into the next one. All right, this is a very interesting chart that many of you may want to pay attention to. There's so much negative headlines out there surrounding a housing crash or the amount of foreclosures coming up and all sorts of things. So we want to take a look at where foreclosures were during those unicorn years, where we're at today, and versus, more specifically and more importantly, is those years leading up to the unicorn years. So this chart will help identify what's truly going on. So this is the U.S. properties with foreclosure filings across the United States. And in 2017, 18, and 19, if you were to average out those years, on average, there's nearly 600,000 foreclosures across the United States. 598,000 more specifically was the average across those years. Julie, what did the foreclosures fall to in 2020 and 2021?
Again, there's a big dip. So in 2020, they went down to 214,000 roughly, and then down further in 2021 to around 151,000. And now, of course, we are seeing an uptick, which, as David mentioned, you see those scary headlines are putting a lot of fear in people. But again, sitting at, or in 2022, 324,000, which when you look historically is still low compared to the pre-unicorn years.
So the headlines are going to scare many people, thinking there's a crash coming. They're going to say foreclosures double, foreclosures triple. Well, yes, they have, because there was such a moratorium on no foreclosures during those years. Yes, the foreclosures are going to triple or double or whatever it may be, but they're still far below what's nationally the average here for foreclosures. So headlines do more to terrify than to clarify, in our opinion.
So hopefully that helped clarify what transpired before the unicorn years and currently. We really are in still a relatively strong market. Again, things really needed to normalize, and they have started to do so. So hopefully you found that helpful.
One of our jobs is to help you guys really explain what's going on in the housing market, not nationally, but also here locally in Stockton. So hopefully this video helped. If you found it helpful or interesting, please hit that like button right down below, and even take a step forward. Maybe drop a comment for us as well, and we will see you on the next video.